Welcome to the chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Okay, thanks, honey. You know, she always wants to send a message when you first show up at the party. She's like, hey, bitch, don't forget to do this. I'm like, honey, I'm trying to do my, we're live. We're on the air. It's not time for announcements. Maybe after the party, you can just let me know what's going on that I should be aware of. Right now, anyway, hi. We're walking back from the gym today. I feel like some to and fro from the gym is gonna be where we do this. Welcome to my studio. Yellow, it's good to see you. And yeah, our tits are out. Nipples to the wind, friends. Welcome to LA. The theme of the moment is oh yeah, I just took my bag off my shoulder so that that's just like 10 times sexier. Okay, the theme of the moment. There were a few. You know what? Let's review the themes of the moment and see which one feels like the right one. One of them is identity. The other one is not here, not now. And those are the two main ones. Yeah, I guess identity is probably, another way to say it would be art names. What's in a name? Fear of being perceived. That's a good one. Fear of being perceived. Let's go with that. I think that's actually the best term, because in my journey, I was looking for language to describe the fear of being perceived, and when I learned that term, it oh wow, really helped me. So of all the different things we could call this little moment together, let's go with the fear of being perceived. So yeah, the thing that's up right now as I walk home, the thing that's up right now is how long I have been trying to be consistent at just sharing and publishing and being publicly promote my work and publicly in any way. And when I say in any way, I mean yeah, so sure, my original stuff, oh, I made this video, check it out, I wouldn't do that. But also if I'm gonna be at an event, come and see. Nope, not gonna post about it. And then the other one is, this is a big one, somebody else's project that they've hired me for. And it could be a major thing. And I'll just get all clammed up. And I'll have this moment when I book the thing, be like, wow, that's gonna be really cool. It'd be great to people would really want to be interested in that, and that'll really help my career and get me to the next level once people see that I worked on it. And then I'll have another thought. If I even post about it, if I even share about it, if it even makes it to my resume. By the way, hello, Jonathan. This is the body. This is the body we've been cultivating. Now, and that was so much of an issue that when I booked such a project, which was a children's show for Netflix called Waffles and Mochi, and I played a main character, and I went all over the world being a puppet captain, helping produce the puppetry stuff, as well as a puppet wrangler, as well as an assistant puppeteer. It freaked me out that I was going to do this amazing job, and then the job would be over and I wouldn't tell anybody about it. So it would be almost like I hadn't done it. It's one of those things, a lot of these projects, by the way, in the industry are, like they have a lot of NDAs. So you spend all that time working on the project and getting all those pictures on set and with your friends and all the magic, and then but you're not allowed to post them or share them or tell anybody even. And then the project comes out, and while they may want you to post about it, and they may encourage you to share about it, they may give you a publicity email with a bunch of links, places to post stuff. Even though that's all going on, you might be working on another project, and I've kind of forgotten about that one. So you're like completely busy in another project, and you kind of like need to pull your brain out of it and go, okay, now oh wow, okay, now it's time to share about that thing that we wrapped 3 months ago. And then, and so that's kind of weird. But then also, it's like, it takes such a running start for me to get over the shame of just blasting stuff, sharing stuff. So, alors, the fear of being perceived is coming up. And with this little YouTube challenge here I'm doing for myself, this is my own YouTube challenge really, to share on YouTube, right? Like, always been on my mind. Here I am doing it now. What's this about? What's going on? Why? Like, I'm looking, I'm curious. I'm like, what is the difference? Like, how am I overcoming the fear of being perceived? And how is it like showing back up right now? So one of the things that's happening in me doing whatever inner magic I've done to get here today, where I'm just like, oh, here I am walking around talking to you again. After having done that, like the other day, I'm getting all this resistance. Like, okay, well, here's how the resistance is showing up. It's an identity issue. What's happening is I'm having these thoughts about my YouTube account, and the thoughts are that I should definitely change my name on YouTube because my name should reflect the kind of content I'm producing. And like, it now, I know that is a bit neurotic for myself. I know that's a bit neurotic, or at least I have deemed that a bit neurotic. So has my therapist. So, and I do look at that as safety behavior, like I'm trying to keep myself safe by finding reasons why I'm not ready to share. And I guess the thing that stuns me right now in just coming back from the gym is my whole workout at the gym today, my brain was just compulsively churning out ideas for YouTube channel names. And it's funny because some of them are hilarious and it's such a journey. I want to give you an example of what it would be like if you were naming something, and let's say it was like a chocolate cake. Like you've made, you're naming a bakery for you made a chocolate cake. You're naming a bakery. So then you're like, okay, well, how about, like, your name is Bob. How about Bob's Bakery? And then it's like, what about Chocobob? What about Bob's Chocolate? What about Cakes by Bob? What about Bob's Cakes? What about Cakey Bob? And you kind of go through these spirals, right? You'll go down a whole list of Bob-themed names, cake-themed names, chocolate cake-themed names, and you go, wait a minute. They're not all going to be chocolate cakes. I just made a chocolate cake, and I'm gonna have different cakes, right? So like, okay, what about Rainbow Bob? Rainbow Bob's cakes, because it's gonna be all sorts of different flavors. Well, then that becomes a question of like, are all of the cakes rainbow themselves? So my example, what I'm trying to share for you is this sort of neurotic behavior of going bing, 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 but around ideas. And the funny part about this whole journey is I don't really need a different name for my YouTube channel. I don't. So, and honestly, like names, in terms of like the internet, it seems like the handle or the name like doesn't really matter that much. Like most of the people I follow, like I don't even know what their handle is. And sometimes they're like weird with a bunch of numbers, and you just press follow one day when you're watching a thing you like, or when you meet someone and you get their Insta, you just press follow and then that's it. And most of the time I don't even know these people's names. Once in a while I'll get frustrated when I like look at someone's account and I'm like, this is kind of confusing, but not really that often. And I think that the internet is getting more and more short attention span, you know? So it's not like people are sitting and studying over and poring over entire accounts. They're kind of like just chomping on whatever morsel the ether floats in front of their face, you know? So like how I do it. And anyway, I'm trying to keep it light though. I'm trying to remember that like the process of doing this neurotic thinking is it is a safety behavior, and that my body does feel a little in danger about this. Like there is something sort of challenging around posting and being seen. And watch out, here it comes. Whoa, there we are. Yes, I have my selfie stick. We're doing it, kids. Okay, got it. This is a safety behavior. The thing I'm proud of myself for is not beating myself up about it and kind of indulging. You know, I'll write the ideas down. What I won't do is try to stop the neurotic thinking. No. Somehow I snapped out of it though, and am on camera now. And I just got like tingly in my legs when I thought about that. Like, how did I do that? Which I guess would probably be helpful for you if you struggle with this. One of the titles or themes that we were talking about is not for the whole YouTube channel or whatever, but just like for a series, is the healing window. Or a healing window, or the healer's window. And then I couldn't remember actually today when I was about to turn this thing on because I wanted to mention it. I was like, oh, you should mention that you're like talking about a proof of concept for this series about giving a window into your mental health journey, Jonathan. And I was like, yeah, what was that thing called? We had a bunch of names for it. And then the name that, the words that like stuck in my head were therapy window. I was like, oh, maybe, you know, when you're trying to remember something and you can't remember it, even if it's your own idea, whatever the words are that pop up, I'm like, that's probably that might be like a zeitgeist thing. Like that would be language maybe that like regular people like Jonathan, like you're a regular person, you couldn't remember it. That's what popped into your head. Like maybe that'd be a good name because it's kind of like the easy thing, you know? Easy to remember, not that complicated, even though it's not perfect. Anyway, I am trying to lean into the not perfect and like intentionally not perfect, because then it feels like my control freak who wants to make everything perfect. Look at this gorgeous house. Look at this crazy house. I know you know exactly where I am in West Hollywood. This crazy house, man. So anyway, the vibe is that I am doing it right now. I'm doing the good thing, which is sharing with you my inner world, not being perfect, and not waiting to like created this or created that. This is technically, at least in my head, the second episode, if you will, of this non-defined sort of podcast about my mental health issues. Like I said, this is a neurotic behavior, and it truly is. It's not like, it's not just like a funny thing that I'm doing. Like this is it really, when I'm going around in circles trying to think up a name usually it's for myself, I will do that for hours, sometimes a whole day, and like get home from whatever the errands I was running or, at the gym or whatever, and get home and just be really wiped out. And the feeling of exhaustion feels like having taken a big test. It feels like, doing serious mental efforting. And I have to remember that as a creative professional who does work in the field of development and in marketing and creating character names, creating project names, names are very powerful. I'm all about the value of a good name. Names are also dangerous. That's how powerful a name is. If a bad thing has a sticky name, it gives it power. And if a good thing has a crappy name, then it takes the wind out of its sails. It can't do what it needs to do because people don't have a good word for it. It's like the words are a code. Names are a code, and here comes the witchcraft. I've been learning about runes lately, and because Spirit told me to. Like you have that moment when you feel something shows up in your brain as an assignment. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to do this now, aren't I? You're like, I wonder what runes are about. I wonder if I'll ever learn about runes. Interesting. Should I look runes up? And then you're looking them up on your phone, just like whatever. Like, and then it's that feeling of like, oh, this is cool. This is different than I thought it was. And I look things up all the time, random stuff. And then you're like, hold on a minute, Spirit. Did you know this was? Is this my new job? Is this my new project? Is this my new assignment? I feel like God, Spirit, the universe is my boss, is my client, if you will. And like, oh, the client has just sent you an email that they want you to learn about runes, and you'll find out what that's about later. So you're going into R&D. Anyway, the thing about runes is all the letters of this Celtic magic have ties to our alphabet. I did not know that. And you can kind of access some magical energy of our own words in English that are, at least for me, English. And, if you're speaking a language with these letters, in your language too. My point is, it's important. It's important. Letters and words are important. That said, often there's many ways to say something that are cool and fun and sticky. When you're as brilliant as I am, you're great at coming up with fun, sticky words to crystallize an idea and communicate what it's all about. So it's just funny to find myself so joyfully engaging in being perceived, in starting a video, was it yesterday? Maybe the day before, I don't remember. Starting, and putting it out there, and that on the back of having done it a little while before that, and then again a little while before that, and seeing myself kind of getting more free and opening up and being willing to just throw my little face on camera here and my little tits. Hi guys. I think I know what the magic ingredient was today. This is going to be good, and then we'll wrap it up. I always say that it's empty threats, really. The So fear being perceived, that's the theme of the moment. Yeah, I can see the rumination and the creativity coming up as a defense mechanism, as a way to stay busy so that we can't leave for the party. And, but it's interesting because when it's in this instance, and I'm talking about my YouTube handle. I'm thinking about, that's what I've been like obsessively chewing on, which is right now Mr. Is, it's about me in the sense of my identity. So it really is about identity. It feels like identity theft in a way, like everything's fine, no big deal, and then all of a sudden my own identity has been stolen. I'm like, oh, wait, that's not me. I need a name that really communicates my identity. Somebody's stolen it. And by somebody, I mean the idea that whatever letters are in front of me on a screen aren't perfect. A lot of artists have this. Like I said, artist names, where they'll change their name. They'll change their regular name or their given name. They'll have an art name, and they'll have a new art name, and it's just like everything, I think, in life, where it's got two sides. I don't mean to be black and white about it, but there's a shadow, and there's a tonic and a toxic side to a lot of stuff, right? Again, not trying to be black and white about it, but because I do like to live in the mystery and in the curiosity, and a lot of times I'll think I'm doing something really sort of toxic, and then I'll go, actually, thank God I did that. And other times I'll think I'm doing something really great and healthy and important, and then I'll realize, oh, actually, coming to find out, that's pretty toxic behavior. It's pretty, oh. So the name thing, it's one of those where it can be really magical and powerful, and something will show up and I'm like, wow. And then I'll have this new word that I will cherish. And other times it will just keep something from getting off the ground, from getting out there. And, or it will take something that's already out there and bury it. So people can't find it anymore because you're not promoting it. Here's an example of that. Once upon a time, the year was 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, I was working a lot in West Hollywood as a performance artist, i.e. go-go dancer, but with puppets. And one of my characters that I broke onto the scene is my Phoenix character, who I called Miss Fuego. And so she has her own name issues. I'm calling her Miss Phoenix now. So there's one story, is that character. But then myself, at the time I was going by Johnny K, and with Johnny K Jouet. Jouet was the name of a character that I was trying to create an Instagram profile for, a Facebook profile for. So because I wasn't even trying to be me, I was trying to create this character that was a go-go dancer in West Hollywood, and then the character would have his own sort of profile, but Facebook wouldn't let me do that. So then I threw my name, Johnny K, in there, and then I became known as Johnny K, and then all of a sudden the whole West Hollywood world, which I didn't really know before then, knew me as Johnny K, and some people called me Jouet, but not really. And then I had this moment. This was one of those, like, is this healthy or not healthy? Like, of wanting to unify my identity online, and it was just Jonathan Kidder, changed that Facebook to Jonathan Kidder. But then I felt weird because I wasn't, I was also doing puppet stuff and industry stuff and commercial work, and the go-go dancing seemed confusing to the folks that were hiring me for puppet stuff. Like, who is this guy? Who is Jonathan Kidder? And then, long story short, we fast forward to today, like this era, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, I get a message. It might have been my phone number. It might have been my phone number from a gentleman who used to book me all the time. back in that previous chunk, like the 2015s, 16, that whole time. Stefano Rosso. If you live in West Hollywood, you've been in one of his parties. If you're in the nightlife world, you know Stefano, and he's a total sweetheart. And I mean, I worked for him 1 to 2 nights a week for maybe 5 years, and on and off, in the midst of like booking commercials and going off to do this and booking a show and going off to do that. But believe it or not, he couldn't remember my name. He did not. He was looking for me online to book me for something. It had been so long. He was like, "What?" Like trying to look up Johnny K. I do all these different characters. It was just he just did. There was nothing that he just couldn't put his finger on it. I feel bad about using his name because it almost seems like bad on you, Stefano. Like, how could you not know his name? If you know Stefano, you could understand how this would happen, and it's kind of hilarious. But I'm throwing no shade at Stefano at all. If you were with me, if you were sitting on my shoulder throughout this whole process, you would understand, you would completely get why Stefano did not really know my name. By the way, all that time working in nightlife and everything, I never really promoted stuff. Not that much. And so that's part of the challenge here, fear of being perceived. Yeah, so it was that gig. He hired me to be a merman. And like he'll hire you. Somebody hires you to be a bird where your face isn't even seen. Like that's kind of what sticks in that party. Or someone hires you to be a merman, but that merman doesn't really have its own name or identity, and it's not your name and identity. It's like I do these characters, right? So like, who is he? Yeah. So now we get to the gig I did for Stefano. It was at the Abbey, and I was a merman for a party, and that whole like, who are you? What's your name? Like, why couldn't I find you? And I'm going by Mr. Kidder now. Go by. That's the other thing. Art names or a go by. What's your go by? The kids are coming down the street. Oh, they're okay. We're good. I was going to say this gentleman was walking his dog, and I thought I might move. We're going to wrap it up here in a minute with the story concludes that God bless Stefano. I had already been thinking about changing my Instagram name, which was JW Kidder at the time. So then I changed it to Mr. Kidder, which I had wanted to change it to. It was on my radar. The good thing I did, this is important, is talk to a bunch of people about it. I didn't just make it my own little decision. One of my rules is I'm not allowed to do things alone anymore. This is a mental health thing. Welcome back to the healer's window, the therapy window. What should you think? The therapy window? Even just having a little phrase to use to kind of add a context to the conversation at hand. So you get like, I'm not trying to give anybody therapy right now. I'm trying to share helpful vocabulary for folks that are going through what I'm going through. The fear of being perceived. So therapy-wise, it's welcome to the therapy window. You're looking into my world. I'm sharing. Imagine you're a therapist and you're like, what is working for this guy? What's working for this guy today who struggles with shame, low self-esteem, fear of being perceived, identity, I don't want to say neurological, but neurosis, neuroticism, that's the word. Okay, the thing that helped with deciding to change my Instagram handle to Mr. Kidder was talking to people about it and not making it my thing and not taking it so seriously, recognizing, oh, this might be a mistake. There may be negative repercussions to this. I may regret doing this. Also knowing that I definitely will regret it because my perfectionism always regrets everything. No matter how many hours or days or weeks or years I spend just figuring something out. Whatever I end up doing, often I will second guess. So the second guessing doesn't really stop when you feel like you've really found the right thing. And yeah, so I guess the antidote today for fear of perception and for, is it really for fear of perception? I guess it's more for taking an action. The action I wanted to take was jumping on here, which apparently we did. Perception aside, just taking that action, getting out of my head and taking an action. The antidote has been just kind of laughing about it, not being so serious, going with it, just going with the flow. You know what? You're having neurosis right now, Jonathan. I could have recorded this on my way to the gym. It wouldn't have been about this topic. It'd probably been about, some other mental health thing that I'm dealing with. But we didn't. And I noticed that. I was like, oh, I'm not really comfortable right now. What's that about? And then at the gym, like, oh, I could have sat down and just posted something, shared something on Instagram. That would have been a good idea. Trying to promote myself, trying to stay in the flow, keep publishing. I'm a creative. I'm a creator. Creative creator. What are you creating? Let's talk about it. But I didn't. Plenty of things to post about, share about, plenty of wonderful content that I've gotten, that I've edited, that's ready to be shared. No. I do know that getting out of my house helps me a lot. So I'm not trying to do that stuff sitting at home anymore. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. So get out the door. So I noticed, oh, I'm out the door. I'm at the gym where I've decided that that's a place that I can sit down in those big comfy chairs in the foyer and do a bunch of stuff, do a bunch of work that will happen because I'm out in the world. It's an ADHD thing. Anyway, all those things helped today. And the main one being don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. So what? You're being neurotic. So what? You didn't post this morning. So what? And what it did, the not taking it so seriously, what it did was kind of loosened up between my shoulder blades, in my back, it kind of loosened me up. They call it dorsal vagal complex in polyvagal theory. The freeze response, it actually happens in our backs. So, yeah, I could feel the tension of trying to do something and I need to do something, and I could feel the harshness in my thinking. So really being gentle is so powerful. Honey, it's okay. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Just getting back to safety in my body. Threatening myself, punishing myself, beating myself up does not make me feel safe. Does not give me that felt safety. Being gentle and easy, that's what does it. And then kind of looking, almost like talking to a child. Hey, babe, sounds like you're, feels like what I'm hearing you say is you're not really in the vibe right now. Okay, just, just checking in. I remember that you saying this was important to you. So, just want you to know that me, your sort of inner adult that's talking right now, this me that's different than the inner child, I don't even understand at all, is just here to be supportive, and if you do want to do it, if you do want to go ahead and post, I'll make sure that we don't get too crazy or we don't get too obsessive, and and if you do end up posting and you hate it, or you do hate the way you look, or you do get really self-conscious, or you get a little twisted about we don't have to beat ourselves up about that either, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm is this lighting good? Was it talking too long? What I'm even talking about? But the thing is, this was a goal of mine, to just get on here and be cringy. Come on, let's be cringy. Let's be cringy. That's what they say in the internet world. If you want to be if you want to be somebody who shares their work on the internet, then the magic ingredient is cringe. Go ahead, be cringe. Okay. Speaking of cringing, Muscles, there you are. Hey, Muscles, we worked for you. We see you. Don't fall over, Jonathan. I can feel the blood rushing to my head right now. And then they stand up. We're going to lean on this wall. Wow. Yeah, man. Good vibes are good. Good vibes, good. Giving the children an opportunity to be themselves, do the things that are important to them. It is not about this, that, or the other thing. It's about what you said it was about. It's about your values. It's about what matters to you, what matters to you in the moment. And every inspiration has an expiration date. And that expiration date is today. So this is the inspiration today. This is where you are now. This is the vibe, this is the energy, and this is your perspective today. It might be different tomorrow. There's so much nutty stuff with AI and the future and politics and everything. Just to be queer and to exist is getting, there's a different, it's different. It's different. So, being here right now in the moment, deep breath, 1, 2, 3. And I think the magic is getting the shame out of my system. Like the shame out of my nervous system. The fear of being perceived, it's like a fear of being embarrassed, a fear of being put to shame for who I am, how I look, that somebody will catch me. They'll find out that I'm really not good enough. So they say guilt is when you did something wrong. Shame is the belief that guilt is the belief that you are something wrong. Now, I'm learning that there's also healthy shame, so that's a whole other conversation. But trying to get the gorgeous body worked out so that people think that you're good enough, that's a shadow. Working out and being sexy and fabulous and then going, look at my tits. That's actually, look at how the light right there, bam, bitch. But that stuff comes and goes so quickly. And I see my friends, and luckily I've been more and more involved in just community and queer community. Some friends are so just in their own corner, really, and love their bodies and love, they're feeling it, they love life, and they have healthy self-esteem. And other folks are so torn up around, how they look. And I don't know, it goes back and forth for me too. But my point is shame. That's my point. My point is the fear of being perceived, the joy of being perceived. I guess I really wanted to bring this thing around and wrap it up. But the joy of being perceived, that's really